What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 106 of Psychotic and Iconic. Paul's here along with my co-hosts Nick Theories, Mikey P, and Philly Phil. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in to the live stream tonight. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and share it. Thank you to everybody that likes, follows, and subscribes to all of our platforms. Mikey P, let's ride.
Oh, starting off with the energy. I love it, baby. Yeah, you came to pod tonight, didn't you?
Yeah,
we're gonna be getting after each other tonight.
That's exactly what we needed.
NFL Week 1 was a pleaser. Wow.
A pleaser.
It was fucking wild, bro. Okay? So we're going to get right into it because we have a lot to cover tonight. Episode 106 of Psychotic and Iconic, powered by Playmaker, was brought to you by Prize Picks. Daily fantasy made easy. Also, we are live right now at the Props Network at propshq.com, where you can go and subscribe to our show and keep up with the latest and greatest and all of our football coverage this season. Last but not least, merch, okay? Fantastic fabric courtesy of IPP Pressworks, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. If you want P&I merch, black and gray tees, tanks, long sleeves, hoodies, you know where to find us. DM us on social for pricing and we will hook you up. Also, we got one other major announcement. Our show, which is our week 2 picks on Thursday, has now been moved to tomorrow night, Wednesday, 8 p.m., so that everyone can be here. All right? So that's just for this week. Tomorrow night is our next show, and we don't have a show on Thursday. All right? You guys ready, man? This is crazy.
I couldn't wait for today.
So we got...
I'm excited.
The headlines took care of themselves, right? It was
Yes.
crazy. Upset Central, revenge plots, crazy shit, okay? So we got a lot to recap. We have some fantasy football content for you. Philly Phil, let's do this.
That's right.
Let's ride.
That's crazy.
That might be the
you wanna-
intro.
we
That might
gotta-
be the intro for me moving forward.
You want to just start there?
Absolutely.
We
Yeah,
should just
have
start
to.
there. He's playing the music too.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe not. Actually, that's Sunday night. Okay, no, we're gonna go with what I said. Okay, Dallas. Are they in danger?
They've been in danger. It sucks for Dak.
Oh, you get.
Oh,
you
he
gotta
going
give
off
me
the
a
rip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk, excited.
Yeah.
Talk, King. Philly Phil. Talk, King.
They've been in danger. They're a dumpster fire waiting to happen. They lost their. We were talking about it. They lost their entire O-line. It was great watching Leonard Fournette put a hurt piece on Micah Parsons, and then Micah Parsons wants to go on Twitter and bitch.
Yeah, seriously.
They're gonna struggle, and then they're gonna try and rush Dak back. Which, if like you weren't making the playoffs or going anywhere regardless, so the smart thing to do would just be lose and get a good draft pick because you need it because you have all bad contracts on your team.
You know what just happened right there? Paul's is ready tonight, man.
You know,
Shit, I didn't even get to give the headline.
I am the headline.
No, actually, for real though, in case you missed it, everybody, in case you're living under a rock, Dak Prescott expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks with thumb surgery. Jerry Jones is on record saying he thinks he'll come back early, potentially 4 weeks. So they did not put him on IR. But apparently the 49ers were leaking that they were open for business for Jimmy G.
Please no.
So you just said you think they should just tank.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because here's the thing. Even if he comes back, like it's not like it's his opposite hand. It's his throwing hand.
That's major. Hey, well, look no further than Russell Wilson last year.
He rushed back.
I kid around and said his thumb fell off.
He got
It
smoked.
quite literally. This is a fracture. It's not necessarily the same as, the torn thumb.
Yeah,
but this is
facts,
his
Ron.
throwing hand here.
Yeah.
And this man's going to be out of action for weeks, and then it's going to be tough for him to grip the football because that was Russ's issue last year. The first 2 weeks, he came back too early. He was asked those first 2 weeks. He could not grip the football.
And
That's
for
it. That's
nothing,
the season for them.
Dak didn't look good before the broken hand.
Yeah.
So I don't
3 points.
I don't get it. CD looked overwhelmed as the wide receiver 1, which I did expect to a degree. Like I said, when we talked about it before, I said I'm not sure if he's a true wide receiver 1 like a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase or something like that. I don't know. And to me, it's just like you weren't playing for anything this year. That team is not going anywhere. Even if you won the division or got a wild card, your ceiling wasn't as high as it was last year. I know Michael Parsons, he's my pick for defensive player of the year. I know he's great. I know Trayvon Diggs can play a little bit, but He got smoked by Mike Evans on that touchdown. That goes without saying. But it's just they're stupid if they try and trade for somebody like Jimmy G and become an 7-8 win team and just be a middle of the pack squad. It doesn't make any sense.
Theories.
I'll be honest with you. I was impressed by their defense. Their defense wasn't bad at all. I mean, to hold the Bucks to 19 points is pretty good. I never thought I would say this, but I think the strength of the Cowboys is their defense. I think that's the best unit overall. Dak Prescott looked horrible. CeeDee Lamb, he has a lot of questions, right? Like, is he a number 1 wide receiver? Can he be that guy? Can he be a DeAndre Hopkins or Jamar Chase or somebody like that? He hasn't really shown it yet. Look, it's week 1. I get it. But now he's without Dak. It's going to be even more difficult with Cooper Rush. But I think Dalton Schultz is a bright spot for them. Ezekiel Elliott, to me, like, okay, he was getting 5 yards of carry, but he doesn't have that burst, bro. Like somebody that can get you like a 20-yard run like he used to. So for me, it's like, I think the Cowboys are in big trouble this year. I think Dak is going to get unfair criticism for the time being because of the record in the end. But he looked really bad, bro. Like I didn't recognize him.
He had a 15 QBR.
That was a really bad performance, man.
15. His rating was 47.
You get like 7.
You're at home. You're at home, man. Like, you got to perform. Like, it's week 1. Like, what happened last year? Was last year a fluke against Tampa? Or is it just because of Amari Cooper? You think Amari Cooper makes that big of a difference to where they look like shit compared to, like, a playoff team? Like, to me, I don't know. But also, another big note in this game was the offensive line was getting harassed by Tampa's front. That was kind of the game right there. I mean, Tampa controlled the trenches. Yeah, exactly right. They controlled that part of the game. And when you got Tom Brady and you control the trenches, you're never going to lose. It's very rare. So that's my takeaway. But Tampa, they're a good team. They're a Super Bowl contending team. So, look, giving up 19 points, that would be the bright spot for Dallas. That would be it for me.
And really, do you just chalk it up to that, or the fact that the Bucks just weren't good in the red zone for one night? Because honestly,
true.
I mean, like, I guess it goes a little both ways there, but I obviously expect the Bucks will be better in that territory going forward.
Also,
Tom Brady didn't practice as much this offseason. So.
Another big nugget in the game too that I noticed was the special teams of the Bucks. They are very fucking good. They make tackles. All right, and the Cowboys were starting, in between the 20. They were like around like the 15, 20 yard line, and they couldn't move the ball. So for them to score, like, they needed big plays, and they couldn't get them. So they were struggling on offense. They couldn't methodically go down the field. That's just not their offense right now.
That's where they're going to.
They don't have an identity. That's what they're missing, an identity.
And like, to touch on what you said about Zeke, it's true, because when Jerry Jeudy caught that bomb yesterday, he hit that second gear and
he had burned.
He
looks healthy.
I didn't know he was that fast, to be honest.
Either.
That was the best he's looked since God knows how long. Go ahead.
I'm not saying that Zeke has that speed, but Zeke doesn't have that second gear anymore.
Tony Pollard does.
Yeah, but he can't block. You have to start Zeke because, especially now with the weak offensive line, you need that extra blocker. You need the protection.
Just like Tampa did. The sacrifice of a weaker run game, I guess.
Just like Tampa did. When Donovan Smith went down, their left tackle, they started chipping Parsons with Fournette.
Yep.
So that's what they had to do. But, yeah, I mean, they're in total disarray. But for fantasy purposes, I think Dalton Schultz, I think there's a bright spot there for fantasy.
I was just going to ask you guys this because, honestly, in fantasy, I downgrade everybody. I don't think you can sell anyone either because at this point, everyone's going to have the same concerns. You're either buying low or you're holding. You're not going to be able to sell these guys now. And these are guys you paid a price tag for.
I agree.
Dalton Schultz, you had to draft a little higher than most tight ends. Zeke was what, a fourth-round pick? Dak was higher-end QB. You got to pay up for these guys. CeeDee Lamb was a second-round pick. You're not going to get fair value in return.
Disaster.
I would say just hold at this point. If you're convinced that Dak's going to come back and be fine, then okay, I might be willing to buy low. If I'm a deep team and I have some pieces to move, I might buy low. But Cowboys in general, though, I've been down on them all season long. It feels like we've been talking about the Cowboys for months, and I'm just out on this team. And Dak Prescott looks regular when the surroundings around him are not strong. So far to this point in his career, that's what we've seen. So Tyron Smith just not being able to stay healthy anymore, and then this offensive line being changed significantly from their glory days, it does not bode well for this team, I think. And I'm not buying in on this defense either yet. I'm sorry. I'm not there with you. I chalk it up to more of the Bucs being rusty. I'm not there.
Julio looked good.
Yes.
Julio
you
looked
got
good.
Julio Jones running whatchamacallit. He got a handoff. I can't think of the term right now.
A jet sweep?
A jet sweep.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of it. My bad. Yeah, he got a jet sweep.
Yeah, he looks
He
healthy.
can still play. He just
looks
needs to
healthy.
stay on the
I'm
field.
not kidding. He looks healthy.
Pliability.
That catch that he made, that 40-yard,
It's got to be that.
that 48-yard catch down the sideline
Was
that
Julio.
Brady threw, that was a beautiful pass, but the catch was even better. Like, do you know how hard it is to go to the ground and, like, you're bouncing off that turf?
He's strong, bro.
Yeah,
Strong
like,
hands.
you got to have a strong
He
ass
played
grip
well
to
last
hold
year
that
when he
ball.
was on the field. He just
fucking
wasn't on the
strong
field ever. That's the problem.
It was healthy.
Can we count on him to stay on the field? If he is, look, Chris Godwin's out for at least a few weeks with the hamstring, and that's on the same leg that his knee he had a torn ACL. It's on that same leg, so I imagine they're going to be a little conservative with him. He might be out a month. Go and add Julio Jones, and maybe you might get a wide receiver 2 out of it for a few weeks. Maybe more, because this offense has shown the ability to be able to hold 3 fantasy relevant wide receivers. Russell Gage, I'd go out and scoop up too, and I would just say, hey, one of these two is going to pan out. I'd
Russell
prioritize
Gage will
Julio.
he will definitely hold some value.
Yeah, but on the other side, so just going back to Dak real quick, you guys think that they're just standing pat because Mike McCarthy went out immediately and said we're going to be looking for other options at quarterback. I don't see how you can even let Cooper Rush be your QB for 4 weeks. It's over. Your season's done. If he's your QB for 4 weeks, you're not winning one game.
Nope. You're going to lose to the Giants. You're going to lose to the Commanders. And you're going to lose to, I forget who they play after that. Maybe the Eagles?
Nah, they'll play the Eagles till later.
I don't care
they
who it
played one
is.
early. Yeah,
it
they're
could be
done.
the Seahawks or Falcons. They're not winning.
Cooper Rush isn't winning everybody.
Right?
I think they're going to go out and get somebody. Look, it's the Cowboys, and they think they're a Super Bowl team.
They play
So
Bengals,
Go
the
ahead.
Giants, the Commanders, the Rams, the Eagles.
And the Lions.
And then the Lions. So that's 6. They're going to be 0-6.
Yeah.
They don't get an
Exactly.
And
So,
I'm not
like-
talking about Cam Newton.
exactly right. And so, like, this is why I say, like, the Cowboys think that they were a Super Bowl ready team this year. Vegas said they were a 10.5 win team, right?
I took the
Okay.
unders. I told you.
Vegas was on a trip.
So the point being here is Dallas thinks they're good. If you want to keep your season on the tracks, you have to get Jimmy G. So I do think they'll go and try to make a run for him, but that price tag's not going to be cheap.
And not for nothing.
It'll probably be a conditional 3rd, maybe even a 2, because they hold the leverage right now. They don't have to get rid of Jimmy G right now.
And he has a no trade clause. And honestly, the way Trey Lance just balled out, if I'm Jimmy, I'm staying right where I'm at.
Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Yep.
Period.
No.
That's
And this is exactly
all the leverage.
why they held on to him. They pulled a Howie Roseman, Sam Bradford-esque kind of thing here. And now they have all the leverage because I'm sure this won't be the only one. But if the Dallas Cowboys want to stay on the tracks, they have to go get Jimmy G. There's nobody else that's going to satisfy this need. The Eagles won't give up Minshew to their division rival. What, do you want Mason Rudolph? Is that going to be enough?
Please do.
You're going 0-4 there, too.
Please do.
What else can they do? That's
Get a
it.
draft pick.
Your season's over. If you don't get Jimmy G and you pay the price, your season's over.
I don't even
and
know.
I don't think he's coming back in 4 weeks. I'm sorry. If he comes back in 4 weeks, he's going to play like ass because he won't be able to grip the football.
And not for nothing, Jimmy
I
G
agree.
on that team wouldn't even, I mean, he would help them, but it wouldn't be anything spectacular because, again,
Yeah.
there's just, the offensive line is so bad. And
Exactly
you don't
right.
have,
And Dak can move.
But he's also got to learn a whole new system in a short amount of time.
Exactly
That's
right.
not easy.
and Mike McCarthy's buns.
Exactly right.
He's not coaching anybody up. He's coaching guys that already have the ability. He's not making somebody more of a student. He needs to have a 4-hour a week
He'll be
film
gone.
study in his contract.
He's not going to last the season.
No.
No shot.
Jerry seems intent to not spoil it. Like his reputation is get rid of people too soon. I think he actually wants to fix that reputation.
Well,
but if you
please
go
keep
0-7,
Nah,
keep
you
McCarthy.
can't. You
He's
have
gone.
to get rid of him.
He'll be gone.
We'll see what happens. But other takeaway in this game, Donovan Smith, right elbow. That's Tom Brady's offensive line. That's 3 pieces now. We don't know when he's going to be back. I haven't seen any follow-up there. Okay? So stay tuned. That's interesting because the Bucs look strong otherwise. They look very strong.
I'll be honest. The Bucs, they came prepared for this season.
Oh, that
The
defense
fact
is
that-
loaded, man.
I'm not even talking about
Go
that.
ahead.
The fact that they signed Russell Gage and Julio Jones when they have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, they are geniuses because they know. I'm starting to think Chris Godwin might be a little injury prone. He's
gets
been nicked up.
Well,
He gets nicked up.
Here's
man.
the thing. They rushed him back, too. And
They did. They
really
did.
should
They
have
did.
just taken their time and
They
let
didn't
him
need
sit
him.
out for 4 weeks.
They didn't need him
because they
that
have
game.
depth.
Come back in October. Let Russell Gage get his feet wet. Let him get like acclimated to Tom Brady and
Exactly.
the way he throws the ball. Then you just insert Godwin and it's regular. You slide Gage back to the 4th spot. Now you have Evans.
Yeah, but you run
Julio,
different
and
routes
Godwin.
though.
What's up?
You run different routes. It's not going to be the same role you're going to have.
Well, no,
So
I just
it's
meant
going to be a lot
Godwin
different.
and Brady already have chemistry.
Yeah,
For,
no, I
for
get
a
that.
team with Super Bowl aspirations and you know they're going to be in the conversation, there's no reason to rush this guy because of your depth. And you know how important he is to the team. This is a guy that Tom Brady trusts. You could argue is neck and neck with Mike Evans when he is healthy. This guy's the one who will probably catch more passes. Why rush him back? I don't understand that. And now look, he injures a hamstring on a leg that just clearly wasn't strong enough yet. This is a leg he's rehabbing still. Put him on the PUP list. Sit him for 4 weeks. What's the rush?
Well, in my opinion,
I wouldn't have done it.
the absence of Gronk, you saw that, especially with third downs. Like they couldn't convert on third down. That
For
was-
now, though.
For now.
I think Julio will
But-
be that guy.
But
soon.
Gronk was always that security blanket to get it on third down, just like an Edelman. He knows where they're going to be. They're on the same page the entire game. So I found that to be interesting too. So I'm keeping an eye on that as the season progresses because I think that's very important.
You never know if they can convince him to come back either. But that's enough on this game. Obviously, I think the Bucs will be fine. The offensive line part scares me a little bit, but I think this was just rust. And their rust equaled a dominant 19-3 victory. So I'm cool.
Yeah.
They're loaded. All right. Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs. You got some explaining to do, Mikey.
It's not my finest moment.
Not a top 10 offense. Tyreek who? Tyreek who?
I mean, look who they were playing. That team stinks.
should
the
mean
head
something.
coach stinks.
I know
the
you're down
quarterback
on this team.
stinks.
That team does stink.
I know you guys are down on this team.
They're
But
terrible.
it wouldn't have mattered who that team was.
Nah, Patrick Mahomes
The
looked good.
Chiefs were on a mission. All right, they blew the fucking Cardinals out of the water. Okay, they borrowed the Bucs cannons. That's what they did.
They did.
They brought in the heavy artillery, and they sent them home. I mean, that game was over before it started. They didn't even know what to do.
I felt like every time I
Cliff
saw
Kingsbury.
the score come up, it was the Chiefs were scoring.
Can I ask you how Cliff Kingsbury got a contract extension? Because that team
couldn't
seemed
tell you.
totally unprepared. They just had no answer from the start. And Kyler did not play well.
That's regular, cause he fucking stinks. He stinks. You getting blown out at home on opening day after you got $230 million, you are a disgrace.
And then
You are. You put your ski mask on and you rob them blind.
Did you see the
Straight
presser?
up.
Did you see the post-game presser? Cliff Kingsbury, when they were asking him about the performance, he goes, "Yeah, well, we got to be better in practice." Bro, you just had the entire summer. You stink. Your quarterback stinks. Your team stinks.
They got out to a
They
3-score lead,
stink.
though, right off the bat. And this team didn't know how to respond at all. And, like the numbers, they're pedestrian. It's an average outing at best from Kyler, but they could not hang. Like, they got garbage time there.
Two different levels.
They couldn't establish the run, which was crucial for their offense last year. The Chiefs' defense even looked good. Like, the Chiefs, let me just say this one more time, because I have to. I know you're going to get me back later. I'm gonna get myself later, too, okay? But the Chiefs looked like the best team in the NFL.
It wasn't even
Like,
close.
if you thought... So we watched the Bills game together, and everyone's like, damn, best team. Josh Allen, that's got to be the best performance of the week. And it was uneven. Hold my beer, Patrick Mahomes. That's what that was. 5 TDs, 360 yards, 144 rating. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man. Post hype sweeper, 6 yards a carry, catch and passes like his LSU days.
Yeah.
And like the one
Travis
thing is,
Kelce just fucking dominated.
I know, he's unreal.
Dominant.
Man.
And Patrick Mahomes was on point. There was that one throw. You guys know exactly which one.
I saw it.
To Kelce.
Yeah.
And it was a phenomenal catch too. But there's literally maybe 3 guys that can make that throw in the whole league. Perfect.
Oh, it was amazing for us.
So like, to me, I'm just gonna say this until proven otherwise. They're the king of the league, and he's the best player in the league.
No, he's not.
And I'm gonna keep saying it.
He ain't
I've been
the best
saying it
player
for
in the league.
years though, so it's okay. I know you can. I know we can differ here.
You can say it.
But he's
You've
the
been
best
consistent.
player in this league right now.
You've been consistently
And he just
saying it.
showed you exactly why. That is a statement right there.
My
That's
thing
a
is,
statement.
He ain't the best player in the league, but he's up there.
That's a fucking statement right there.
At worst, he's second. Because he just like here's my thing. With Andy Reid, I watched him with Donovan McNabb, James Thrash, Todd Pinkston, Nay Brown, all these mid-ass, bum-ass players score. They had a good defense at the time too. But Andy Reid he knows what to do. When he did what he did with Brian Westbrook, which I was drawing comparisons with CEH to Brian Westbrook when he first got drafted. I thought that he would have been like that. But Brian Westbrook was a beast. But
Yeah.
Andy Reid is just an offensive guru. Like when we were talking and we were saying like the best quarterback of the last 10, 20 years, like you have to put Andy Reid in that argument with Belichick because Belichick hasn't done shit without Tom Brady.
He
That's
coached
facts.
in circles around Kingsbury. It was a done game. The game was over in the first quarter.
It's not. It's legitimate.
It was a 3-score game in the second quarter. It was over from the start. I was wildly impressed by this outing. And
So was
9
I.
different players caught a ball for the Chiefs. And sometimes, I was telling you guys this, is when you have to distribute more of the offense, sometimes it brings out some of your better tendencies too. Like it eliminated maybe the, having to chuck it deep like everyone says. Having to force that ball to Tyreek Hill. 9 different receivers. I mean, Sky Moore only had 1 catch in this game, 1 target. And I thought he was going to be heavily involved right off the bat. McCole Hardman had 6 targets in this game. Like,
Yeah, he did well.
caught a touchdown. Jody Fortson caught a touchdown. What?
I saw that. I was like, who the hell is this dude?
And then in mop-up duty, your 7th round running back out of Rutgers, Isaiah Pacheco, 5.2 yards per carry on 12 carries and a TD. Like they're just regular Chiefs, and their defense. This is exactly what happened. Is they get rid of Tyreek Hill. They put the money towards the defense. They drafted towards the defense. They look like a force. This Thursday, that game is going to be phenomenal.
I can't.
That's
wait.
arguably the 2 sharpest teams from week 1 was Chargers and Chiefs. Man,
What's the line for that game for now?
Half, I think.
yeah, I think it's 3.5. Kansas City's at home. We're going to see what happens. What else is there to say? I will say this, though. You can expect to see this on a reel this week. I just saw that Patrick Mahomes rated as the 8th best quarterback this week on PFF.
I saw that too.
And I got a question. What the hell is your formula? If
don't
he was the
care.
8th best quarterback, he played a damn near perfect game. He had 1 pass that counted against his formula, and it was a free play, and it almost got picked off. The flag was down, and it was a free play, and it almost got picked off, and that went against his grade. That's why he was your 8th ranked quarterback.
There's just no.
Who cares? It's a free
no
play.
explanation for that. He's not in what world is he the 8th best player in the NFL? He's
Here's my
quickly
thing.
No,
becoming
the 8th best of the week. What we just saw, he threw 5 TDs, 0 picks, and 360 yards.
ESPN or something like that put out a thing, and he was the 8th best player in the NFL.
Oh, see, that's ridiculous too. But I'm just saying. They said
Why do we
PFF
put
said
too
he
much-
was the 8th best quarterback this
It's
week.
stupid.
And
Why
that
do
was
we talk
behind
about
Ryan
this?
Tannehill.
Why do we talk about these PFF? Fuck, who gives a fuck, dude? These ratings don't mean shit. Like, I don't know why people
some
pay
it
attention to
does.
that. Like, I don't get it. What? Because you don't even know their criteria. You don't even know what they're measuring. What's their meter? What are they doing? How are they grading
Drugs.
this? Yeah, like to me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why? I don't understand why people put too much stock into this because they don't even know what the formula is about.
They need
so
to
why
listen
do
to
you
P&I.
care? Why are you so emotionally invested? I don't give a fuck what they say. My eyes tell me that Patrick Mahomes played the best this weekend,
Yeah.
straight up. And I don't
Who's
even have to.
flawless?
I don't even got to debate.
They're going to be Of
He
course.
had the most touchdowns. He had 5 touchdowns, and he had 360 passing yards, the most in the weekend. That's unreal. His rating was 144.2, but yet he's the 8th. See, I don't pay attention to stupid ass metrics. Stupid, absolutely dumb.
So one question, one more follow-up with CEH as far as that goes. Well, we got some clarity with the running back room. It looks like they'll all be involved to a degree. But CEH, are you guys back in? Because I think I am.
Give me another week or two.
I knew he was going to fall in drafts, and I wanted to target him as a late sleeper because I invested heavily in him last year and got burnt.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a buy right now, and he looks healthy. That's the thing with him,
It's
too.
the health.
He needs to be healthy. But, like, he looked explosive again. And he got virtually no talk this offseason to the point of people saying, like, Pacheco's going to start. They kept that under the wraps.
Yep.
Yeah, I am excited, Godfar. Could you not be? Did you just see that performance? Tyreek who? Moving on.
I'll say this though: if I had CEH in fantasy, I'd be selling.
Yeah, I mean, you
I'm a
should,
seller.
honestly. You
Sell
should.
high.
Sell high.
This is an opportunity to sell high.
absolutely.
If you do think he's going to get hurt or something, you know. Otherwise, you just got late round gold.
Yep.
He's likely your flex. Good for you.
Flex and all.
All right. Next up, Buffalo Bills from TNF. Buffalo Bills spoiled the Rams ring night, guys. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Bills defense. Enough said. Is there anything else to say other than... Go ahead, Nick. Say what you want to say about Gabriel Davis. Let's get on with it.
To say.
I've already said it, bro. He is a star. He is going to absolutely go bananas this year. Dead serious. He's going to be a top 10 fantasy wide receiver, and that's not cap. Look,
I mean, it looks.
look
right
what
now.
he does. He does great. He gets open. He beats the corners. He's wide open, and you have Stephon Diggs on the other side, who's going to get all the attention. Yeah, he gets all the targets. Like I understand that Stephon Diggs is a target machine, but Gabriel Davis is going to have a lot of opportunities to really do some damage in fantasy. He's a big play wide receiver, and he has Josh Allen at quarterback. So for me, like, he's awesome this year. He's going to be great.
And
I'm excited about it. The Bills. I mean, come on. We expected this. I mean, not a blowout, but we expected the Bills to win. And I told you about that.
You were dead right.
I told you about that.
I actually wanted to
Vegas-
give flowers
We both
on
were
that.
on the Bills big time.
Vegas was dangling 2.5 points in front of America's face, saying, "Look, I'll give you 2.5 points, and you guys can have the Rams at home."
Yep.
That was telling me at that half point when it switched. That's when I knew I'm taking the Bills.
Yep.
That moment
You
right
read it.
there.
You read it perfectly. I wish I did. I just
It was
misread
such a trap.
I
It
mean,
was such a trap.
You weren't the only one, Mike.
No, you weren't.
But this is like the Bills showed you they're for real. Stephon Diggs, that prediction's looking good. I said Stephon Diggs will be wide receiver 1 overall. They look like they could have 2 guys in the top 10. That's what it looks like. Stephon Diggs, though,
He's a beast.
I mean,
Straight up.
need I say more about that?
No.
Jalen Ramsey, who?
He got burned.
I'm going to be saying this a lot. Jalen Ramsey got sliced and diced.
He got a Super Bowl.
And he got paid.
And he got burnt in that game, too.
Yeah, I'm
But-
satisfied.
But I'm just saying, like, Stephon Diggs put on a clinic. Stephon Diggs put on a clinic. Josh Allen, it was a little uneven in the beginning. Dominated. Bills defense, dominated. They made the Rams look regular. They did. They
Rams
looked
might actually
serious.
stink.
I don't know about that.
I'm a little worried about them because of their offensive line.
Yeah, I agree with
And I'm still staying on record with that. I'm a little worried about them. And the elbow for Stafford. And then you throw in the part about the run game. We got to
let's not
touch
go
on that
there.
right now. Running back situation here. Cam Akers was a distant memory. Last time I saw him play, he was getting 20 carries in the playoffs. This time he was on the field for what, like 5 snaps?
3.
3. Pardon me.
Oh no, 5 snaps, 3 carries.
It just
Yeah.
goes to show you
Darrell Henderson was the lead back.
it moves on, bro. Life moves on, dude.
And he had his moments in the game. I will say this, okay? So we're talking fantasy now. I think it'll be more of a split timeshare. Eventually, I think that Akers is in the doghouse. I also think that they I don't think they should rush him back anyway. I think they rushed him back last year. But if Darrell Henderson's available on waivers, he's got to be your top claim. He's got to be the top claim this week. and he went undrafted in a couple of my leagues. And in one of them, I have the #1 claim. And I lost Elijah Mitchell in that league.
Pick him up.
Darrell Henderson, got to be the top claim, just in case. I mean, he's definitely more talented than a guy like Jeff Wilson, let's say. Okay. Darrell Henderson showed he could play in this offense, though. He was a top 15 back.
Very good. He just gets hurt
when he was healthy last year. Top 15 back.
He's physical.
Do you guys agree with that assessment, though, as far as he's the #1 claim of the week?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think I would take him over Jeff Wilson.
Yeah,
so, but I mean, well, you already nailed that. The 49ers running backs, they just get, I don't know what it is. It's the medical staff or whatever they're eating. They cannot stay healthy.
And you know what? I mean, look, the conditions there, I guess we could talk about that now because we just brought it up. We're not going to get too deep into this game, but the Bears, the 49ers, that was an upset. It was a sloppy mud fest. It was an interesting scenario. Like, there was, like, tons of standing water there to the point you could do slip and slides after the game.
I'm so happy for Justin Fields.
But Justin Fields was the better quarterback, even though they both didn't play great. Elijah Mitchell, though, was gaining chunk yardage that whole game. And he's been a soft tissue guy so far. He was hurt last year.
Yeah.
He plants his leg into the ground. He gets his knee hit. Knee buckles. He's out for two months, at least. I think that's conservative.
Yeah.
I might have to drop him. I can't field the roster spot. I have the IR spot filled for Brian Robinson, who I know is going to play in a few weeks.
He sprained his MCL, so even if he comes back,
it's a tough injury for running back.
Yeah, he's not going to come back and do anything.
Right.
It's sad because he's got ability. He showed you again in this game and last year. He's good. He's just a guy who gets hurt, and this one is like a freak injury. This is not soft tissue. This is his leg got run into while his foot was planted. So, Jeff Wilson, #2 claim of the week. Do we agree there?
Maybe, but I just
close.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he'll get RB2 volume.
I would do it. Yeah, it's a running back because running backs are so scarce in the league that if you can get a guy who's a starter, absolutely, I'm going all in for him.
Was he their red zone back, like the goal line back last year? Was that him or was it Jusic?
Yes, he was. And he was the one who took over as the lead back when Mitchell got hurt last year.
Yes, okay.
And he had massive volume. I mean, I think he went over 20 carries in 2 of those games. So, I mean, they had the rookie, Tyrion Davis-Price, 3rd-round pick. They have another rookie who was undrafted. I forget his name at the moment. But I think that's the pecking order. I think it's going to be Wilson get the first crack.
I'll tell you what. The Niners are very happy they signed Jimmy G. I'm telling you right now, this Trey Lance experiment crumbles. They could still have a season. Like, their season isn't done.
Here's the problem with Trey Lance, and up until yesterday, in the last 3 years, he hasn't thrown more. He's thrown in totality like 389 passes. Like, and when you're coming out of a small school like North Dakota State, that's a problem. Like, it's hard. The game is so fast. Like, he threw the one interception where the D-back cut off that route. Like, he doesn't know that it's in college. That's probably a completion, but in the NFL, you can't do that. And like, again, here let's take it with a grain of salt because it literally was they were playing in a pool.
Those are the worst playing conditions we've seen in a while.
So like, I'll give him a little bit of a pass,
yeah.
but he did make some decisions that you're like, oh, come on, bro. Like you can't do that with that team the way it's constructed. You can't do that with Jimmy lurking over your shoulder.
We saw growing pains from both quarterbacks in that game, and unfortunately, it's not a great game to judge by.
Yeah, no.
So I want to see him next week. I'm not going to take too much stock into it, but I did want to get to the 49er running back room, and I honestly think if you don't have an IR slot available in your league, I think that Mitchell might be droppable. I don't know how you can hold on to a guy for 8 weeks. I think it's going to be longer. I think it'll be more like 10 weeks. I don't know how you can hold on to him. It's like saying, "Hey, I'm gonna draft Deshaun Watson and put him on my bench." How can you hold him? I'm in a league where there's a 6 running back maximum. I have my other 2 handcuffs, and one of them's for Alvin Kamara, who's hurt too right now.
Somebody's going to pick up Deshaun Watson and fuck themselves up if they think he's going to come back in week 1.
Can't do it right now.
Nope.
You can't hold these guys for that long. We're talking about an RB2 here with upside. You got to be able to replace him. Fortunately, in one league, I had an injury. It was Rondale Moore, and I put him on IR, and I scooped up Jeff Wilson out of free agency before that game. So I'm good in that one. I'm all right. I probably won't get him in all.
It's a good pickup.
Yeah, it was just like
Perfect timing,
It was the only handcuff I didn't own.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see, guys. All right. 49er running back room. There you go. Bills, 49ers. There you go. And the Bears, that was interesting. They play the Packers this week. Yeesh.
And the Niners play the Seahawks.
Yeesh. Well, that's a good thing, probably. All right. Moving on. So, Philly Phil, you can change it up if you want. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yikes.
Yeesh.
Yikes.
Turnovers galore. The Steelers upset the Bengals in week 1. We did not even give them more than 15 seconds of airtime. We just said Bengals, and that was that. We were like, all right, time to move on.
Yeah, that was wild disrespectful.
Now, I will say this. You guys can agree or not. The Steelers weren't all that great in this game either. The Bengals just sucked more.
Joe Burrow missed time in training camp with appendicitis. Mike Tomlin's a prideful guy. I mean, he hasn't finished below 500 for a reason. He can coach.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, they were just lurking there, that nobody was picking them. It was the same thing with the Steelers last year, opening week, when I picked them against Buffalo. They're just lurking there. Nobody gives them any credit. They still have Mike Tomlin. He's a top 5 coach.
Facts.
So, you know, I mean, people should have seen it coming. It wasn't a fair thing. And like I said, with Joe Burrow missing time like that, that stuff matters. And, again, this could be said for the whole league. The preseason matters.
Yeah,
all
they
these
got rid of
guys
games.
are rusty as shit because they're not playing.
It's an exciting
And I think
version of
that's why injuries happen, too, because you have to get accustomed to getting hit like that.
Week 1 is an extension of the preseason.
Yeah, and now it's only 3 preseason
There's
games.
a lot of slop this week.
It's a
This
tune-up.
was the sloppiest of all, though.
It's a
This is a 5-turnover game, 7 sacks behind this.
Burrow had, what, 4 interceptions?
Four interceptions
He
and a
got
fumble
sacked.
lost.
He got sacked 7 times, so it's the
That's
same shit
regular.
as last year. So
I was saying to you guys, the offensive lines take time to gel. I love the moves they made, but, like, they got blown the fuck up in this game. They got blown up.
Yeah, the Steelers defense came to play. I'll tell you that. I mean, they were outstanding. What did they have? Like 7 turnovers, 5 turnovers.
They had 5 turnovers.
It was unreal. 5 turnovers, 7 sacks, and they scored a touchdown on defense. I mean, look, they dominated this football game, but if I'm the Bengals, I'm not panicking.
No.
I mean,
that was
like,
my
look,
question.
I think people need to like pump the brakes on shit. Like, it's week 1, chill out. Like, we have 16 more games here. Like, okay, they lose week 1. It's not
Except
the
for
end all
certain
be all.
teams.
Yeah, except for certain teams, you know, it's the end all be all. But for them, no, they had the talent. T. Higgins was also concussed, so they missed him in that game. So, I mean, look, there's a lot of variables that happened in that game for them to lose. And I can't believe they fucking lost on an extra point, though. That was crazy. That was wild.
Blocked extra point.
Wow.
Wow.
You know what's funny? So I had my buddy Tom over here, Tom. And we were
He's in the
watching
league.
game.
He's in the
he's in the
P&I league.
And we
He
were
beat me this week.
watching this game, and I was like, the Bengals just scored. I said, Tom, something's gonna happen right here because this always happens with an extra point or something freaky is gonna happen. And sure enough, a blocked extra point happened. And that was
Right on schedule.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
He was like, "Yo, you called that?" I was like, "Man, it's theories, baby."
Entertainment.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
wild.
That's all it is, bro.
So the Steelers overcome the Bengals in overtime, but maybe Najee Harris is hurt. I mean, he's been dealing with foot issues, Liz Frank, and you never want to hear that word in football. That's right up there with ACL, Achilles. It's right up there.
Yep.
When you hear that word, ew. So guys, I want to ask you this. Are you worried about Najee Harris if you're an owner? And what are you doing about it? Do you think also that Jalen Warren's a priority scoop in fantasy, even if you're not a Najee Harris owner?
All right,
It's a loaded question here.
I'm not gonna come up here and cat. I fuck with Warren, bro. I fuck with Warren, bro.
Undrafted.
He's gonna get the volume. If Najee Harris is out, he's gonna get the volume. Him or possibly Benny Snell. But Warren is actually number 2 on the depth chart, so I'm going all in on him. Fuck it, I'm not gonna cat, bro. I fuck with him, bro.
They like him too.
Yeah.
Did you see what Tomlin said?
He's
said,
good.
He's good.
He
He
said
can play.
about this undrafted rookie, he said he didn't pee down his leg or something like a dog. And that's why he's like, he likes him. That's why.
He could play.
He
Yeah.
showed up in camp.
He's on my radar.
Oh, he's already on mine.
So you guys, are you trying to?
I'll see you at the bidding.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go.
That's fine. I have
Jalen
I have
Wa-
a number in my head that you won't really understand, but
Oh,
it's
we're
okay.
talking-
69.
Maybe. It's crazy.
Jalen Warren, priority scoop. We are worried. That's not that. I mean, that's no joke. Like that's not gonna get better probably. Interesting. Keep an eye on Najee Harris. That's a big one. That's a first round pick, guys.
Nah, he said he's practicing this week and he's playing. So I mean, look,
I would just make sure. Look, you better have your handcuff ready.
Absolutely.
And if he's available in free agency and you got a spot, regardless, you got to go scoop him right now. That's like the vaunted Liz Frank injury.
yeah, the Steelers. I mean, look, the Steelers won the game, but they actually lost a lot in that game.
TJ Watt got hurt.
Watt, with a torn pec, out 6 weeks right now.
Yeah, no
reportedly.
surgery, which is good.
Yeah, no, that is good.
He
That's
would have
good
been out
news.
for the year.
That's good news. That is good
So
news.
6 weeks, but that's still. I mean,
That's a lot,
This team's
man.
season's over. In 6 weeks, they're dead.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Make no mistake.
He's a beast.
This guy is
This guy's
literally
a monster.
a top 10 player in the league.
I
Probably.
mean, they're going to actually hurt from that. I mean, that's going to be a big loss on their defense.
yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see how they bounce back. But I ain't going to lie, man. I was actually really impressed by the Steelers. Again, I'm not a Trubisky guy. He stinks, by the way. He
He had a nice
absolutely
drive at the end
stinks.
But he sucked.
Stinks. He stinks.
He's
he
poop.
stinks. The Steelers
Oh,
are.
can we talk about that catch Deontay Johnson
it was
made?
fucking
Yeah, he's a
amazing.
stud.
The Steelers are a quarterback away from literally being a Super Bowl
They're Jimmy
contender.
And
G
an
away.
offensive line,
Dead
too.
ass serious.
Jimmy
That
G away.
offensive line is
I
just
know,
the
but
worst.
if you put a quarterback in there, I think they can make things happen. I really believe that. I do, bro.
Like I said,
Big Ben made.
wait, can I say this one
Big
more
Ben-
time?
Big Ben made the playoffs last year. Could you
I know.
imagine a quarterback at elite level? He'll get you.
Can
there.
I say this one more time since I've been saying it? They should have signed Marcus Mariota.
Oh God!
I'm gonna
Jesus
say it
Christ.
again.
Dear Christ.
Mariota, Trubisky.
Marcus Mariota is 0-1 right now. Who is he?
Don't disrespect the
I'm not
You saw
disrespecting
what he
him.
did this
The
week.
Falcons should
What'd he
not
do?
have
He
won that
lost.
game. What is
He
it with
almost
them?
pulled that off.
And lost.
What
I
is it-
know.
What is it with them and being up 15 points and not being able to win games with 4
Yeah,
minutes
right.
left?
It's
I
a
know.
division game. It's always close. I told you, bro. I've been screaming.
Jameis goes on his post-game interview on the field and he says, "Yeah, I'm in pain all over. Where's it hurt? I'm just in pain."
Yeah, he's hurt. He cares. He cares.
Yeah, while we're on the subject,
He played bad.
look who again might be a sleeper value.
bro.
He's gone dog.
He was really bad, yeah. And so was Kamara. Kamara was like,
I know he did.
He was on the
looked
go
like
card.
shit.
But they said he was hurt.
Michael
so I don't
Thomas
know.
though.
yeah.
So we'll get into that now, I guess. Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, comeback players, man.
Can't guard Mike.
Jarvis Landry won them that game at the end.
Yeah, he slept on. bro.
Jarvis Landry can still play. It's just the health. He's another one. He can play, dude. He's
Yeah.
really good.
He is. He's a perfect slot receiver.
He's perfect for that scheme right there. I mean, he had a great chemistry with Jameis. And as a matter of fact, he went undrafted, I think, in all 3 of my leagues. That guy as well should be a priority scoop this week. He had volume, but he had the burst. He looked like he was back.
Is he a starter? Is he a flex?
A flex.
I'm not.
A flex.
But like this is PPR we're
Flex
talking about.
on.
The guy caught what, 7 passes?
Yeah.
He had like 9 targets, I think.
He had 9 targets, 7 catches, 114 yards,
Oh, I'm good.
and he caught
I'm not even
a
looking at it
40-yard
right now.
pass. So, I mean, look, he's
set up
averaging
the- he
16
set up
yards
the
a
win.
catch. He's averaging 16 yards a catch. He's averaging 2.6 points per catch.
So
That's a lot of points.
Between that and the other takeaway for me was Cordero Patterson, who everyone's worried about his job. Tyler Algier, or however you pronounce his last
Nah.
name, wasn't even suited up for the game.
No.
Cordero Patterson
Beast.
had more volume than you've seen all last year, and he was effective. So he might have been a late round value in fantasy again.
I'm guilty as charged, man. I really loved him this year.
Who?
Patterson, but I had my concerns about this
Yeah.
running back reports about Algier and him taking the work
He's good.
away from Patterson. But bro, he could
looked
ball
good.
out. That was proof that he is their RB1 moving forward,
Yeah.
and it's not even close.
No
22
question.
carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown. Come on, you can't beat that. I mean, that was an
On
outstanding
the Saints
performance.
defense too.
Yes, and they're not a slouch. So it was a great performance by him.
Wow. Unbelievable. and he's totally relevant again. Marcus Mariota had a good game, guys. I don't care what you say. He looks like a guy who needed an opportunity. It's unfortunate he went to a bad team because they're not going to be able to do much. But I'm telling you, if he went to
1-0.
If he went to a different team, I would have been very interested.
Well, no,
I'm gonna pound the table for the guy.
But he's looking for a starting position. I don't think he was going to start anywhere else.
He looked pretty good. Remember, this is the Saints defense, and we here at the table. Look, you said they'll win a close game.
Yeah.
You're down on the Saints. Me,
They should be 0-1.
I was like, the Saints
Why?
are gonna blow them the fuck out.
Why? They won.
The Saints are gonna. I said
You
the
just
Saints.
said Jameis played like shit.
They played like shit, but they still won the football
I
game.
looked,
It's the Falcons.
I looked the worst out of the three of us there. I said they're gonna blow them the fuck out.
They played
Okay.
bad. The Saints
The Falcons should have won that game.
That tells me something. If they play good, they're going to be hard to beat.
They just like that whole game, and then they're in the fourth quarter, and it's 26-10, and I'm just laughing because I'm like, Dennis Allen, you're doing it again, you dirty dog, you. And then next thing I know, I look up, and they're getting ready to win the game, and I'm just like, what? Why can't Atlanta hold leads?
I'm surprised you didn't text me. I told you about the Saints, man. Dennis Allen.
No, we
Blah, 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 blah.
texted about them because you got cocky, and then I put you
Did
in
I?
your place.
What? About the Saints?
Yeah, I have them on there.
For
Yeah,
real?
because you said roll the tape, and I'm like, well, I agreed with you. What are we rolling?
Roll the tape.
Yeah, because you said as soon as they won,
As soon as they won.
You said
yeah,
the
I
Saints
said
in a
roll the
close
tape.
game, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're going to win a close game, and that's why it doesn't surprise me that it was a close game. It's a division game. They're on the road. That's going to be a tough game for them.
they were getting blown out.
Yeah.
So whatever. Who's up next?
Yeah.
Oh man. Up
That's
next.
the coaching, though. To come back,
I'll give them that. It was a
good-
nice win.
you made
They-
adjustments when it mattered most.
And they showed some character there.
Absolutely.
Granted, we would have liked to see a little bit more. Me personally.
A win's a win. Who cares?
A
It's
win
week
is a
one.
win.
Oh, yeah, I
Look,
don't
there
care.
was a
It's
week
lot.
one.
Listen, there were a lot of teams that are supposedly playoff contention teams that played a lot worse than the Saints did. And here's one we could talk about right now. Ready for this? Philly Phil, why don't you change it up? I'm going to give Mike his flowers. All right.
I guess we're not talking about the Panthers on this one.
No. Each of us are going to take some digs here and
Oh,
there.
man, I was
so
waiting for that.
So
Me too.
here
I
we
was there
go.
for it, too.
Ready for this? The Minnesota Vikings. They make a statement. Week one.
They're not
Told you I was
Minnesota
nervous.
anymore.
He's going to lift you up, and then
Listen.
he's going to tear you down. Hey, exactly.
You're right, but here's the thing, though. I told you I was nervous about that game. I took the Packers anyway
You gotta be
because
more nervous
because
now.
I'm a company guy here. Okay, but the thing that stood out to me wasn't the fact that they could play offense. We already knew that about the Vikings. They were clean. I knew they were going to come out firing with that offense. But their defense, it had some moments there.
Well,
Wasn't great. I know they were aided by. Listen, here's my gripe of the game. Okay, the receivers, for example, first drive, Christian Watson wide open,
Yeah, that's
drops a
bad.
75-yard TD. That's the shit that's not going to fly right there. I told you I wasn't worried about these guys' speed and possible separation. But that can't happen.
But that's going
an
to happen.
NFL player. You have to catch that
I
ball. That
agree.
changes the whole game.
That changed the entire momentum because if he catches that pass and
punch him in the
scores,
mouth.
It changes the whole game.
It does.
You know what it
really
And it does. And Aaron Rodgers, here's my gripe with him. Ready for this? Look, I'm not going to say the sky's falling if that's what you're asking for here. What I'm saying is this. The Vikings showed me that I do indeed think they'll take a step up this year, and I told you already they're a wild card 10-win team. My respect's there. Okay? Justin Jefferson, fucking monster game. Anyway, the Packers, they got to go back to the drawing board here. It's pretty obvious. They have a nice cupcake matchup with the Bears next week. The Bears coming off an emotional victory. It's a perfect setup for the Packers. But this offense was, oh my God, horizontal. And Aaron Rodgers, here's my gripe with Aaron
That's the perfect
Rodgers.
word, horizontal.
Aaron Rodgers had the worst body language ever in this game.
I'm glad you
And
said
he
that.
was not a good leader in this game.
I'm
You
glad
sound
said that.
shocked.
I'm
And-
glad you said that.
I'm not shocked. Listen, I'm not going to say the greatest leader ever, but Aaron Rodgers, knowing that you need a lot from these young players who showed you they have some ability, like they showed you that. You saw it. The guy dropped the ball. Okay, he'll probably catch that in a few weeks. But you can't knock these guys' confidence down.
I'm with you.
It's the first week of the season, and you know your team's depending on young players.
If he was a good leader,
You nailed that, bro.
You know what he would have
You
did?
nailed that.
You know what he would have did? When Christian Watson came in the huddle, he would have said, "Yo, fuck that.
I'm going to go right back to you next
Run
play.
as fast as you can and run straight.
I'm going
gonna
right back.
I'm going to put it on you again." But he can't do that. He looked at the coach and rolled his eyes, which I thought was hysterical.
It was not
Because
a
That was
vet
really
move,
big, yeah.
bro.
That was bad.
I want to watch this thing fold out the way I've been saying it's going to happen. Aaron Rodgers could put
Take
the
your
ball.
flowers. Go
he
ahead.
could put the ball on the money all he wants. The receiver has to catch it.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins.
That was
garbage.
concerning, Mike.
Christian that drop is one. That drop, honest to God, that reminded me of the Nelson Aguilar drop against the Falcons with Carson Wentz, where it just swung the game because that would have won the game. That pass.
And he showed him up too with this negativity.
And he never went to him again except
Never went to him
one more
again.
time. I think in
One
the
more
fourth
time.
quarter.
Yeah, in fourth
And
quarter.
so to me,
Go ahead.
it's just like it was what I expected to happen. I didn't like their offense looked bad, and I was saying before I think they're going to struggle to score points. That's a problem.
I always thought it would be a work in progress, especially early.
A lot of work.
And then when you're talking, like, here's the thing. The other thing is this. They had no time at all, okay? Both of their starting tackles, who are legitimate Pro Bowl talents, all pro for Bakhtiari. When you're down your two tackles, your bookend tackles, in a situation where the Vikings do have a pass rush. They have guys who can rush the passer. Like, I expected, obviously, that was going to be an issue. But this game, like, they were short game. They were horizontal. And this is also the first game without Hackett, who I'm going to rip later. I'm going to fucking destroy him. Okay? But this is their first game without him. And Matt LaFleur and company, they didn't have a great game either. That's something interesting that I think is going to take some time as well. So I'm not surprised. Like, I'm telling you right now, I already said, I think if there's going to be a game the Vikings beat them this year, it's this one.
Yep.
It played to perfection. You get your flowers. They look serious. And the defense showed some signs, too, because that was an issue, a major issue. But I think that, the Eagles this week, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. I think they'll be able to exploit them.
Can we talk about something real fast?
Sure, go ahead.
A.J. Dillon is the
beast.
real deal.
Good. I'm happy you said that.
It's not-
Go ahead.
He's awesome.
It's not a facade.
He's
it's not
slept on.
It's not a question anymore. He is the real deal.
He slept on.
He can
Major.
catch. He's a bull when he
Yeah.
runs. He scores touchdowns.
He should be RB1.
So let me ask you guys this.
For real, bro. You
I'm
nailed
not.
that.
I'm not kidding.
Let me
You
ask
say-
you
I
this
like Aaron Jones.
before you
I'm an
guys say
Aaron
anything
Jones
else.
guy,
Before you say
Dillon,
anything else, I
good.
got a facts or cap for you.
shoot.
You ready for that? Okay.
I love this.
A.J. Dillon is the back to own in the Packers' backfield.
That's a fact.
Facts or cap?
Fact.
I'm saying fact because he's been saying that. And when I was talking about Aaron Jones drafting him in fantasy because I thought he was going to be a target hog, he kept saying, "Be careful. He is a headache. He is a headache." A.J. Dillon, he's like, and he said,
He's good.
I had him last year. And Mark, the guy who beat you in the championship, said, like,
Dillon.
I have A.J. Dillon. And he was saying, he goes, bro, there were times where I was watching the game and I'm like, where is Aaron Jones?
It's
All the work is going
painful.
to A.J. Dillon.
Painful.
That was a massive value pick in fantasy football.
It was a
the fact
steal.
he fell that far.
No.
And we were saying it here at P&I for a while. We've been saying
Oh yeah, I love him this year.
just value-wise, it's an easy value. Like, they're both going to play. They're both going to probably put up RB1 production in most situations. I'm going to say cap only because I think they both can be top 15 options. But A.J. Dillon's challenging that right away. Like, A.J. Dillon could be the 1A as opposed to the 1B. That's what we saw. That's what we saw. So I'm only
bro.
saying cap because I think, like, there's going to be situations as we continue moving forward where they're both rosterable, they're both startable, just like you saw in Denver even.
And
They're
think
both
of
going
it
to play.
like this.
You know what I
If
mean?
that offense is struggling next week, the following week, and A.J. Dillon's their bright spot, they're going to lean on him more.
Yeah,
if
they're
he's
gonna
the
have
one
to.
making those key plays and he's the one scoring the touchdowns and making things happen, they're going to lean on him. If that's the bright spot of their offense, because their offense is talent. It's talent restricted right now.
I'll say this too.
Outside
There's
of
one
quarterback.
other takeaway with the Packers, guys. Robert Tonyan looked healthy, and that was big because I think he's a primary option when he is healthy. He looked healthy, and that's a weapon I didn't think they'd have, and they need to utilize him more. So, besides fixing the obvious stuff that we just talked about, that's a point where, okay, there's a positive. This is a guy who can help the passing game, and he's shown to be reliable in the red zone. This guy needs to be more involved now. You saw that he's healthy.
I think A.J. Dillon is wildly. I mean, look, people draft Aaron Jones because of his receiving, right?
Yeah.
They did. I mean, he's a receiving back. Green Bay didn't have a wide
AJ Green
receiver,
had bad
so the
targets.
appeal was, oh, Aaron Rodgers is going to throw to Aaron Jones the entire time. But in reality, in this game, A.J. Dillon had more targets, and he had 5 catches for 46 yards. That is RB1 numbers.
I'm so thankful
Yeah,
you talked.
And he had
He's a
10
stud.
carries, 45 yards, and a
He beat
touchdown
me
on the
too.
ground.
It was coming up later.
A.J. Dillon's awesome.
He talked me out of Aaron Jones because I was the one screaming about Aaron Jones.
I just didn't like the price tag.
Yeah,
That's all
no,
it
me
is.
either.
It's
I
like
said
if
the
you're
same
going
thing.
price tag,
I would go Dillon.
you get one
Yeah.
9 rounds later.
I listen
They're
to
both
theories.
going to play.
You'll get me there.
It just makes
I
sense.
I ain't gonna do that to you.
Get somebody
I'm not
else
gonna put that on
in the first, second round.
I'm not gonna put that on record. I'm not gonna do that to you, bro.
Just
So Mike
No, I
wins.
didn't.
Mike
I didn't
wins.
say it. You did.
Mike wins the first P&I bet of the year. Get your flowers.
Regular.
All right. We'll see what happens next time.
I'm gonna get my mozzarella sticks next.
Go ahead, man. It's on me. All right. Next up. Now, this is where we beat you down a little bit.
I told you he's gonna lift you up and he's gonna beat you down, bro.
You set it up.
But look, I'm going to get myself next, too.
It's okay.
We're each trading jabs
That's
here.
right.
You see what
We're
I
gonna
did?
have fun.
You see what I did? Yeah, let's ride. Let's go to Cleveland first. Sorry, go to Carolina. Anyway. All right. The Cleveland Browns. Game-winning field goal. Cade, whatever.
That was good. That was good from 70.
That kicker is good, man. That's a rookie. I don't even remember his name. What is it?
Cade York.
It was Cade York?
Cade York, yeah.
Yeah. Because
See,
when he came
I was
on, I'm
afraid
like,
to
oh,
say-
we got this.
I was going to say York, but I was afraid I was going to say Cam York of the Flyers. Anyway,
Bro, that
it's
ball was
okay.
hooking, bro, and then they cooked
It
back.
was 30. It was 30 yards right, and I'm like, all right. And then all of a sudden, it had the hook, and it came back
got
up,
the
Me
hook.
too.
and it
Just
hit
like
the-
P&I.
and it hit the back of the net, and I just felt my soul leave my body. I was like, no.
Oh my God.
That's an area where they needed help, by the way. Like,
That was a bullshit.
They needed a
roughing the
kicker.
passer, though.
I hear you, but still,
That-
the
Literally,
Cleveland
it's
Browns
real.
spoil Baker Mayfield's revenge effort, and all 3 of us picked the Panthers. That's probably the last time I'm doing that for a while.
Said I hated
That's,
that spot.
I mean, I didn't. I don't think. Listen, you want to take the floor on Baker?
Oh, I will.
You
That
talk
was
about him.
so embarrassing. He did not play well.
Well, his fourth quarter was amazing.
I get it. Okay, he had a couple good throws, but he already reached his peak, bro. I don't think he's getting better. I think what you see is what you're gonna get.
Yep.
You're gonna get somebody who's gonna lose to Jacoby Brissett. That's who you're gonna get.
It happens.
Come on, bro. This is a revenge game. You're playing against Jacoby Brissett, and you are out, and you are home,
won-
you lay an egg. Come on, bro.
I mean, look,
no.
Go ahead. When you're finished, I'll
Put the
go.
shield the fuck down, bro.
There's no shield.
Mike. He played
Go ahead.
extremely bad.
Okay, go ahead.
He did. He lost the game. He lost to the fucking Browns.
Okay.
The Browns had no quarterback.
Okay.
He got Jacoby Brissett. Who else they got?
Okay, go ahead.
And that's it. That's all
it?
I gotta
That's it?
say. I mean, it's,
Okay.
that's really the fucking.
All right, so
the story.
he started out like shit. He looked god awful. In the fourth quarter, he was 5 of 6 for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, where he ran one in. So he started off really bad, which in camp he was in a struggle. He didn't get much playing time because him and Sam Darnold were going back and forth. The odd connection is him and Robbie Anderson. Things, the whole thing with the Instagram no and all that.
They're
scored,
good.
too.
They're a good connection for each other.
But I mean, look, he led the game, the drive to get them ahead, and then there was a roughing the passer call, which letter of the law, true. I don't think that's roughing the passer. There's nothing that defensive end can do when you put your foot into the ground and you're driving through an offensive lineman and
I
you're
agree with
backing
you.
him up. There's nothing you can do. And then Jacoby Brissett, they should have got backed up and a 10-second runoff because that wasn't a legal spike. So I'm not saying he lost. He played like shit for the first half of that game. But the second half, he played okay. He played well in the second half. I'm not putting up a shield. I'm just saying he lost the game.
Here's
He
the
shouldn't
thing.
have lost. This is a great field goal.
This is where the Panthers
Why
went
is
wrong.
he fumbling all the time? The snap.
I know. I
I
can't
don't
explain
understand that.
I
Come on,
can't
that's
explain.
you're playing professional
That's 4
football.
fumbles.
Yeah,
4.
I can't explain that.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
this, though. I think my first question, besides the fact that I expected him to play a lot better.
So did I, especially coming out of the gate.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
no doubt.
I'm happy that he tried to hit on the downfield throws. Good sign there. But their usage of Christian McCaffrey puzzles the shit out of me.
10 carries.
And DJ Moore, too.
Yep.
DJ Moore only getting 6 targets is a crime. And that's not a slight to Robbie. Robbie, it's great they got him going. That's
Their defense
major.
was smothering though.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, look. I expect that, too, against Jacoby Brissett. But at the same time, how do you not establish Christian McCaffrey in this game? It blows my mind. They only ran the football 19 times as a team, 10 for McCaffrey. And McCaffrey, I mean, just really couldn't get going. He had 14 touches in this game.
I think they're easing him in.
Maybe, but like,
I think so.
They don't want to put that
the
workload
thing
on
is,
him.
I agree.
this is what's supposed to.
Yes.
This is what's supposed to make Baker's life easy, and it's not just him, but DJ Moore. Like, it don't make any sense to me. On the other side, the Browns showed you exactly what I've been screaming. They are so talented, just need a quarterback. They're loaded. This run game, it doesn't matter. You can stack the box. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs in football. I think he's number 2 just behind Jonathan Taylor. That's how good Nick Chubb is. And he showed you 6.4 yards per carry, 141 yards, and it don't fucking matter who's across the field.
He's a beast.
It don't matter. Kareem Hunt had a good game.
Regular.
And this is what this team's going to do. They're going to play good defense. They're going to run the fucking football down your throat. And Jacoby Brissett didn't take the train off the tracks. So, like, this is an encouraging sign here because they want to stay competitive for when Deshaun Watson returns. They looked like a team that was a quarterback away. That's what it looked like to me. They're loaded. They're loaded. I mean, they didn't even need Amari Cooper in this game. They didn't even need him.
Yeah, he was.
Where was he? He was buns as shit.
Peoples Jones was their lead.
David Njoku had 1 target. Massive contract this summer. They didn't even bother.
He is
Peoples Jones.
overrated, bro.
Who?
Njoku.
I
never
saying-
understood the hype train. I've been saying up here, I don't understand the hype train of Njoku. He hasn't done shit.
They were saying they're going to use him more, this and that.
Stop.
And he was an afterthought.
He had like 3 good games in 2020 with Baker, and all of a sudden he was a stud. And he's
No.
done
They
nothing since.
They didn't even throw the ball once to their rookie 3rd rounder David Bell, who was supposed to be involved. So, like, that's the thing, is this team is able to compete in a tight game like this. They were leading for most of the game, and they are clearly, like, missing something at quarterback, but he didn't kill him. He didn't turn the football over.
I'll tell you one thing. If Kareem Hunt had a starting job on any NFL running back on any team, he would probably you're right. Probably a top 5.
He's a top 5 back. He is
top 5 fantasy back.
Probably.
And that's not even capped.
I think top 10 is definite.
He's
Top 5.
unbelievable, man. I don't care what.
There's a lot of good running backs, though.
You gave him 20 carries, he scores every week. He scores like receiving, rushing. It don't even matter.
If he was still in Kansas City, he'd be top 5, maybe top 3.
100%.
I would take a
I'm
top
glad to
5
say
pick
that.
overall. I wouldn't even care. That's here. He's that good. Kareem Hunt is that good.
So
Straight
there you
up.
go.
He's
You're looking at 2
another
guys
steal.
that you could play in your league at the same time.
He's another
They
steal
both
in the
have
draft, man.
standalone value. Maybe he still gets traded. You never know, honestly.
I doubt it.
They knew they were going to be relying on this run game, though.
I doubt they
And
did.
they don't
Trading
care.
him because they need to rely on both
Yes.
of them until Deshaun comes back.
Agreed.
And they truly don't care, man. They're just going to run the football on you. All right?
And because they can.
Because they can.
They're very good.
Last headline of the show, guys. Now I get to take a crap on myself, really, basically. Can I please take this one first?
Go ahead.
This is
Philly
good.
Phil, drum roll.
That's right.
That's right.
Monday Night Football.
That's right.
Yo, bro, really got beat up by
Wow, it had to be the same day that I posted this about Russell Wilson. Anyway.
Don't you mean Rusty Wilson?
No, I don't mean that. Okay, the Denver Broncos. Why'd it get quiet? What the fuck?
Because that's how his performance was.
Yeah, all right, here. The Denver Broncos, sloppy, stunning loss to the Seahawks and Geno Smith. That's right, Geno Smith. Did you notice the theme here? The revenge plots did not work this week for anyone. They did not work out. But this is embarrassing. Ready for this?
That's
Ready for
exactly
this?
what they did. Phil.
Yeah, that was.
Look, I know I told you this team might take some time as well. Rookie head coach. Let me just talk about this man real quick, because I was barking about him before the show.
Reservations.
Let me talk about this man right now. Before he botched the final drive, which was all-time bad. All-time bad. I thought he coached like fucking shit the whole game. He was outcoached by a 70-year-old with nobody on his team.
Coaching matters.
Nathaniel Hackett, this was a variable I didn't expect. Like, listen, it's different when you go from coordinator to coach. There's some different things in play here.
You make
And
the
he
decisions.
looks lost.
Yeah.
And he did not make adjustments.
Flowers.
This team showed up flat. They looked like they thought they were going to walk on the Seahawks, just like I did. And they did not show up to play. They were not prepared. And they, too, looked pretty horizontal for part of this game. We're talking about Russell Wilson. He's got a cannon. He throws deep. They couldn't adjust to the pass rush. I just sat here and said to you yesterday on Reels, I said, this is the best offensive line Russell Wilson's played with. And they were gashed the whole fucking game.
I couldn't tell.
And then, wait, hold on, it gets better. Top 5 rushing attack. Top 5 rushing attack. They both fumble on the 1 yard line?
That was bad.
Are you kidding me? That's the game right there.
My fantasy player would fumble on the 1.
But wait, this is before the last drive.
It's something at the 1 yard line. It kills me.
This is before the last drive. Let's talk about that now, okay?
Yeah.
They're driving down the field. It's 4th and 5.
You got to score.
Listen, I literally practiced with Brandon McManus for a whole year before he got signed into the NFL. Temple, you could call him and ask him. I watched this guy hit 73-yard field goals in practice. I know he could do it. I have no doubts. But Russell Wilson signed to that massive deal. Nathaniel Hackett's your head coach. You got all these weapons. They're finally starting to heat up a little bit. And you tell me. Hold on, let me give you the odds here.
I know.
Let me give you the odds.
I was going to say them.
I'm mad, if you can't tell. They had a 7% chance of connecting on that field goal based on NFL history. They had a 49% chance of converting this 4th down with their franchise quarterback of 200 something million. And they took the ball out of his hands. Listen, if I'm Russell Wilson,
he was cooking hamburger helper.
if I'm Russell Wilson, I know he took one for the team there, and he was polite about it. If I'm Russell Wilson, I'm storming in that office.
He's cooking.
And I'm saying, what the fuck? That's what I'm saying. It's 4th and 5 with Russell Wilson, one of the best 4th quarter quarterbacks in the history of the game.
I couldn't tell.
One of the best.
I couldn't tell.
It's 4th and 5. And he tries a 64-yard field goal. And I just told you, I know he can hit it.
I can hit
But
it.
it's in Seattle. And this guy's done it a million times in his career. And I'm saying they're a sleeper Super Bowl team. I picked them on this show. What the fuck?
Ooh, they lost
What's that? They were awful. Geno Smith was a Pro Bowl quarterback for a half.
He looked great. I told you. Yo, he could play.
Do I sound like Stephen A?
Does.
Was
Yeah,
that good?
a little bit.
That was blasphemous.
It was nauseating.
But they're gonna run train this week. But that right there,
I'm about it.
That right there, here's the difference. Remember the whole narrative I played for you? Elite quarterback going to a new team that has all the pieces. By the way, the defense played bad too. They tightened it up in the second half, but they were bad. Okay. Elite quarterback going to a new team. Happened the last 2 years. They won a Super Bowl. But the difference was, the only thing that was the question mark, even for me, established head coach in Bruce Arians, established head coach in Sean McVay. This is a rookie head coach who clearly, I'm sure he's upset. He needs to learn real fast. He looks like Brandon Staley. And Brandon Staley didn't even have moments that bad. Like this is one of the worst coaching performances I've ever seen. Let alone first time out there. This was awful. But I'm not sounding the alarm. It needs to improve.
That's your Super Bowl pick. You can't sound the alarm.
It's week 1.
Yeah.
But that was bad, guys.
But bro, they lost to Seattle.
They lost to fucking Seattle, who
I told you. That line was weird.
It was a trap.
That line was weird, bro. And like, here's the thing.
But I expected much better from this team. And Russ, by the way, I don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead, no.
He was above average. He had his moments, but he had a couple bad throws too.
I thought he was below average.
I thought he was just,
I thought he was average.
It was enough. But it wasn't what you expect. Was it all his fault? No, definitely not. I would venture to say it wasn't his fault. But, man, Wow. And I mean,
look.
I lost my voice over this.
I mean, look, cuz
I was angry.
you lost to Seattle. Like, this
I know.
is your revenge game. This is like you like.
Mike Russell is crazy.
They booed.
Is the
your
audience
ass.
worried about me? Look at Dave. Man, let it
Russell.
out. It's a safe place.
Mike Russell.
Russell Palumbo.
No, I'm Mike Mahomes, Godfar, but still, Russ is my guy. And
Like-
Russ could have done better too. I admit it.
Like, my thing is,
Go ahead.
You know, shame on Seattle for booing him coming out. By the way,
That was embarrassing.
that's embarrassing. You like, that's embarrassing.
10 years, won your Super Bowl,
won a Super
passion.
Bowl.
10 wins minimum in each season.
I'm the same way. I'm the
There's
same
called
way.
passion and there's called respect. Like, bro, like he dedicated 10 years of his life to bring you guys a Super Bowl for you guys to have memories.
The best quarterback in
And
franchise
you're
history.
gonna boo him. Like, to me,
By a
like
mile.
there's lines on that. You know what I mean? So I hated that for Seattle. That was really disrespectful, and that's why I'm kind of surprised at Russell Wilson overall performance. The crowd that you were with for 10 years, the 12th man, right? They are booing you. You should feel like, all right, let's fucking go, cause now fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Now I'm here. You should be waxing the floor against Seattle. But Seattle came out with energy. They had the crowd rocking. It all started off with their first drive, with that big play to Will Disley. That crowd exploded.
Yeah, that was major.
Exploded, and that set the tone of the game. That told Denver, you're in a dogfight. This ain't gonna be no fucking walkover. And that's exactly what happened. And unfortunately, I'm surprised that Denver lost the game. The first half was surprising, but I thought when it was 17-13, I thought, okay, Russell Wilson, second half, we'll find a way to win this game over Geno Smith. It's the talent level is just
And he did his job,
astronomically
though.
marginally different.
He did his
Yeah.
job there. He literally,
Geno
I mean,
Smith would
He was
people all day.
17
You
of
have
18 in the
two-
first half.
listen
awesome.
listen to this, guys. This is a stat, like an unheard of stat here. Okay? This is not in defense of Russell Wilson.
But no,
this
no,
is
no, no.
I gotta read
Let me
this.
finish. Let me
Go
finish.
ahead. Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is the fact that Seattle didn't score any points in the second half and you still lost when you were down 4 at the half, that's bad. But I'm not going to panic. It's week 1. I thought this team would start off slow. I said this in the summertime. I feel like Denver's going to start off slow. They got to get, you got to gel as a team.
They can't.
You can't just put people out on the field and expect it to work. You got to have chemistry. You got to have camaraderie. It takes time to develop certain things. Like
And
Russell
Nick-
Wilson has to know what is Judy like what's his best route, what's he like to do. It's all about the cadences, how you get in sync with your receivers. And they're not there yet, but when they are there, they're going to be scary because Jerry Judy can play. He
looked
dropped
good.
that one pass though, that hurt them on the third down. When he dropped that pass, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right at the marker stick, you got to make that play. You got to help your quarterback out. You got to put points on the board. You got to make those kind of plays. So for me, I'm not going to panic. The talent is there. They got great running backs, and I just think it was honestly just a bad week for them, man. They ran into Seattle. It was a bad matchup for them in terms of them being on the road.
Nick.
That stadium gets loud when you don't have chemistry, right? And that stadium is loud, and you can't communicate with your guys. You're going to have penalties. That's why they have delay of games and shit like that. That's uncalled for.
5 pre-snap penalties.
That's uncalled for, especially when you have Russell Wilson, that quarterback. He's a veteran. That should not happen at all. So the fact that happened just lets me know they're not all on the same page yet. So for me, they're
New
going to start off
offense,
slow.
too.
They will though. I'm not gonna panic.
New offense too, but Nick, what do you and I just talk about before the show? I just brought up the point about the narrative of the two teams that won the last 2 Super Bowls, with the change and everything. They were rusty too to start the season. The years that they won the Super Bowl, the Rams, they were rusty. The Buccaneers didn't get going.
The Bucs
And
lost
they,
week
and
1
they
against
got
the Saints.
exactly
You're
right.
right.
And they got hot the year they won the Super Bowl. So this kind of has that same feel. Looks like a team in a new offense. I mean, he didn't call a great game at all. I thought he'd be a little bit better
He's
there
horrible.
because he's done that for years now. He looked like Nathaniel Hackett of the Jags, not the Packers. They look, I saw a ghost. They were the first team to lose 2 fumbles on the 1-yard line in the same game since 1987.
Wow.
That's the game right there. It's over. That's 12 points.
Well,
Now, at that
6,
point-
because Geno Smith got stuffed on that first down. So you could take.
I'm just saying though, the Broncos are not a team I expect that from. They're a team that they convert when they get to the goal line, they score touchdowns. they convert. Their run game, they convert on the 1 yard line.
This is a team that needed preseason snaps.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that you should start to sound it a little bit. I wouldn't say actually sound the alarm, but you should, because their last 6 games are brutal. They need to win these games in the beginning, because if they have more than 3 losses at the bye week, they're in deep shit. And this is why I said I have them at 10-7.
When's their bye week?
Week 9.
Yeah, they can still pull off the 7 win.
So if they go
start.
5-3,
Yeah.
6-3.
Listen, this is a humbling game. It's I don't want to say necessary. They were probably feeling themselves a little bit. I'm sure they look good in camp.
I had them.
But this is a humbling kind of game. I think they're going to wipe the floors. They have an easy matchup next week.
Houston.
Let me see. Yeah, Houston. Houston coming off an emotional tie.
Yeah. My
Really,
thing
the
is
Colts-
with them
Go ahead.
last night, the reason I'm concerned is I had them at 10-7 because I thought their talent alone could take over. But where I'm struggling is, as I said, the reason I had the reservations about why everybody was picking them for, like playoff runs and stuff like that. The head coach is a rookie. And as Mikey mentioned, the defense is a lot of no names. They just played together as a great unit last year. But they had a defensive coach in Vic Fangio. He's not there anymore.
Yeah.
That could be an issue. Like, their defense got carved up by
did.
Geno Smith.
Well, the second half, they adjusted. But the problem I have is, for example, you're counting on Bradley Chubb to be the guy, right? He's the most important pass rusher on the team.
And
he was invisible in the first half.
Yep.
You can't be sitting in the locker room smoking the reefer in the first half. Like, that's what
Why not?
he looked like he was just...
Josh Gordon did, and he was all pro.
Well, he's not Josh Gordon. He's a defensive lineman, and he just looked like he was asleep. Like, I don't know.
And like, also,
Maybe that wasn't a great analogy. He just
gotcha.
looked like he was asleep, man.
He didn't take them
What was
serious.
he doing?
I didn't like, though, Cushenberry, the center, Lloyd Cushenberry, saying, we lost because of penalties and turnovers. Nah, brother. Russell Wilson should have had 2 interceptions, the one in the end zone with Diggs. Jerry Jeudy was a terrible underthrow. That if that's a good corner, that's an interception. If that's Darius Slay, if that's James Bradbury, that's most likely an interception. That was a great catch by Jeudy, though.
That was a great
adjustment.
catch.
And then he turned on the burners, and it was over from there. But you got out-coached. Nathaniel Hackett was in over his head, and you didn't trust your $250 million quarterback on a 4th and 5, because how do you not put the ball in your best player's hands? If that's Tampa Bay, if that's Kansas City, if that's Buffalo, if that's any team outside of maybe the Ravens, because they have Justin Tucker, you put the ball in your best player's hands and you let them do it. You have 20 seconds and 3 timeouts. Like, what is it?
We didn't even talk about the timeout.
What is it with Green Bay head coaches and inopportune field goals? I tweeted that last night.
It took them 30 seconds to call a timeout. What the fuck was that?
You're right. You're right. They had over a minute. You had 3 timeouts. Call timeout, talking over. Okay.
Exactly.
What's the best play? Should we kick the field goal? What do you feel comfortable with?
Fault
Should we
Russ in
go
that
for
too.
it?
He's a veteran. Give him a little bit. Like, even if it's 15%, he should be aware of that too. Like, yo, we have timeouts. Call one.
It had to have been- that was my thought too, but I was thinking, obviously, there's no way it had to have fallen on him. This is the head coach telling him, don't call the timeout.
Yeah.
We're going to catch him off guard.
That was terrible.
I thought they were going to try and draw him off sides.
Peyton Manning was like
thought
literally,
it too.
Oh, he was
Peyton was like,
Shannon Sharp said, he said, they're going to kick it. Kick what?
what do you think,
he was
E?
cringing.
What do you think, E? Call a timeout here. He said that for like 30 seconds straight.
Yeah.
What are you doing? That was embarrassing.
That
See,
was
and that's the
embarrassing.
thing. Is like,
On
I'm
Monday
sitting
Night
on the
Football.
couch watching it. Sure, I was in the league for 5 years. I didn't
Casting
coach a
couch.
lick. And I knew what to do there.
Me too. You have 3 of them.
This guy got 2 straight MVPs out of Aaron Rodgers. Was it him? I don't know. Rodgers said so. He didn't look like it.
We will see.
We're going. Oh, because
he could be the common denominator.
See, he needs to.
If Russ has a bad season and they miss the playoffs, he's gonna get on the hot seat.
Because Russ still had one. Like even after that.
McDaniels on the in his time.
We're gonna talk Raiders
And his
tomorrow
time
a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like,
that-
In his time with Denver, he's going to be just like Josh McDaniels.
Hope
That's my
not.
prediction.
Hope not.
That's my
but
prediction. It's
I'm
gonna
still like
happen.
I could get behind
everything.
that. I really
Everything
can.
with all that said, he still had 340 yards and a 101 rating.
Oh, yeah.
Which is something they didn't have before, and that game was very much in their hands.
And what's also weird.
They let that go, even despite the first half horrible. But they had that game, and they just
Their red
were
zone
awful.
offense.
They didn't deserve to win.
Their red zone offense was abysmal. Russell
Horrible.
Wilson threw 12 passes inside the red zone yesterday and had 0 points.
And again, this is a guy that's known for red zone efficiency.
That's what. No, that's
the
my
whole
point.
thing. The offense actually looked broken for points in this game, and I was confused with a lot of it. I couldn't figure it out. I thought that they would adjust in the second half. The defense did, but the offense looked disjointed. They had moments, but they were a roller coaster.
Yeah.
They'll fix this. This is a new offense for the entire team.
They better fix it quick.
They got to fix it because they have to capitalize on the early going. I think they will.
Their division ain't no joke,
emotional
though, bro.
tie.
That's
a win for the Texans.
The Texans played very well yesterday. Yo,
They blew that game, though.
I know.
They were up 20-3.
Davis Mills really might be on. They really might have something in him.
they might.
He's played his last 6 games. He's played well.
Pretty well. Yeah.
So, guys, to end the show, and I'm going right back to the Texans in a second. This is going to be more like rapid fire. I'm going to ask you fantasy-related questions about running back rooms, injuries, maybe a couple more comebacks, okay? And that's how we're ending the show here.
Cool.
Starting with the Texans running back room. Rex Burkhead, okay? He was the leading ball carrier for the Houston Texans, not the rookie stud Dameon Pierce, who did not play well. Burkhead, 71% snaps. Pierce, 28. Concerned?
Absolutely. Hell yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Out-touched them 19-12.
If Rex Burkhead is taking 71% of snaps, something's wrong.
So would you add him in fantasy? as the follow-up?
Absolutely. Hell yeah. I would add him in
Burkhead
fantasy.
and-
Absolutely.
I love Rex Burkhead.
Hell yeah.
So there you go, guys. Are you gonna maybe try to buy low on Pierce anyway, though? Maybe.
Nah, because I don't find the Texans to be like appealing besides Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is going to get the guy. He's going to get the targets.
He is.
He's a beast. He gets 12 targets a game. So
Certified.
I know what I'm getting in him, but I don't know what I'm getting in Pierce. It's too much uncertainty, and I feel like I'm going to pay a premium because of the position that I'm paying for.
They're not an electric offense.
Right.
They're going to be a grinded out win.
Yeah. So there you go. Texas running back room. We'll see how it unfolds. Next up, the Washington Commanders and Jacksonville Jaguars. There's 2 parts to this. First, the running back room of the Jags. James Robinson balled out, okay?
You mean Antonio Gibson?
I said the running back room of the Jags.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I thought you said the
got you.
Commanders. Oh,
I got
my God.
you.
I'm sorry.
I got you, okay? Robinson, ETN.
The Commanders.
ETN outsnaps Robinson, but Robinson saw 27% more opportunities, and he balled out, and he looked better. So who is the guy to own here? Are you sounding the alarm on the ETN owners, or are you just like, oh, I like both of them? Or are you saying Robinson's the guy?
I don't really know,
And
to
Nick,
be honest.
we're going to want your opinion because you're an ETN owner. Go ahead.
ETN should have had a touchdown, and Trevor Lawrence missed him wide open.
Good point.
Wide open. Those are throws you cannot miss. I mean, he was 24th yesterday amongst quarterbacks in completion percentage, and 2 of them played in a monsoon.
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence, man,
Trevor Lawrence
he
guy.
did all right, but bro, you got the way he's talked about and he's projected.
Andrew Luck.
He didn't know Andrew Luck.
No.
Hell no.
Put some respect
Best
on his
prospect
name.
since
facts.
Andrew
He is
Luck.
very
That was
good.
always shade.
Andrew Luck's only downfall was injuries, and he threw a lot of picks, but he made AFC Championship game.
He was a beast, bro.
Andrew Luck was the real deal.
He wasn't polished like Andrew Luck out of the draft. Theories, what are your thoughts here?
I'm worried.
You're an owner.
I'm worried, bro. I am worried because I mean, look, if Trevor Lawrence is going to overthrow him, that's his value. That's where you drafted him. You drafted him for PPR. Like if your quarterback can't hit him in stride, especially that wide open, and not for nothing, if you're a number 1 overall pick, you got to make that throw. If you are the franchise savior, you got to make those easy throws. That's a layup right there. So I'd be concerned overall because Jacksonville stinks. So, but James Robinson looked awesome. He looked like he didn't miss a beat. So yeah, I'm worried. Absolutely, I'd be worried.
So
I'm an owner too, so I get it.
Can I try to persuade you to not worry?
Sure.
Before ETN fumbled, 65% of the first half snaps. Doug Peterson known to go to the hot hand. Doug Peterson known to use multiple running backs. If anything, for me, yes, would I want James Robinson? Sure. Would I want ETN too, though? Yes. I think this is a major buy low opportunity because there's going to be people that are like, sky is falling. But both of these guys are going to play. And this is not something unknown. Like, if you know Doug Peterson, this is what he does. He went with the hot hand here. They both can play, though, and they both can be fantasy relevant. So I am convincing you to not worry.
I'll ask you this.
65% of the snaps before the fumble.
I got it. I'll ask you this. So if he's going to go with a hot hand, who's to say that James Robinson won't have the hot hand all year?
Maybe, but he still gives them both work. That's the thing, is he's had running back rooms where he gives 3 guys work.
Problem is, I don't see them scoring.
But that's,
to maintain the volume for 2 backs.
So in that case, that also makes me feel like ETN as a pass catcher, I'm buying low. I'm not ready to just count him out after this. And James Robinson looked great, by the way.
James Robinson's good.
Like, you can invest in both. You can invest in both guys, is what I'm saying. Not going to sound the alarm on you, okay? All right. On the other side, Washington, Carson Wentz, come back. The Carson Wentz led passing offense. Go ahead. Yeah, you can do it. I'll join you.
Nick.
Come on, Nick. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Join us. Are you in?
Stop it.
4 TDs.
Stop it.
Carson Wentz.
Stop it.
Curtis Samuel had like 16 touches.
You need to get some fucking help, both of you.
Why?
He
Stop
balled.
it.
He balled out. He balled out.
Remember,
he
this
threw
is
2 picks against the Jags. He
this
balled
is for
out.
fantasy
and
football.
He threw it to the fucking defensive lineman. He balled out.
It happens.
Listen, it happens. It only happens with
Joe
Carson
Burrow
Wentz.
threw an interception to TJ Watt.
Carson Wentz always does this, bro.
So, hey, I didn't say that.
You know
I just
it.
said that he was balling.
You said he balled out. He didn't ball out.
He
Get
did.
the hell out of here. The hell out. Balled out.
He did.
Who did you pick in that game to win that game?
I picked the Jags.
Thank you.
Listen,
Yeah.
let me read you some
Wentz. You got Wentz.
They were underdogs, and I took them.
This is for fantasy football here.
I thought it was a good bet.
This is for fantasy football.
I took him too. So.
Yeah, fuck off.
Are you-
It's a good bet, yo. It was a good bet.
My question is this. I'll even answer my own question first.
Go ahead, freak.
Are you investing in the Washington passing offense? And I'm going to say yes. They threw the ball 41 times. Okay. They had 3 fantasy relevant wide receivers there. Curtis Samuel should be an ad on the waiver wire because he's healthy right now. And this guy was being used like Deebo Samuel. Not saying he is him, but he was used like him. He had 12 touches yesterday. He had 12 touches. Okay. He had 11 targets as a pass catcher. Terry McLaurin, the usual. I mean, he didn't even do too much, but he scored a touchdown in the game, 58 yards. Antonio Gibson had 7 catches. John Dotson, the rookie,
2 tutties.
2 tutties. This looks like it's going to be a pass-heavy offense, at least for the foreseeable future, until Brian Robinson comes back. But they
Don't
still
sleep
look like
on the
they're going to be,
Commanders.
you know.
Don't sleep on the
I'm
Commanders.
just saying, for the fantasy purpose, I think Carson Wentz is an ad this week. I think you got to go out and you got to add him because this right here, you're going to get the good and bad with this guy always. His athletic ability leads him to make. He challenges himself to do things that he shouldn't do sometimes.
He can play.
But he can play.
That's all I've said.
313 yards, 4 TDs. He had a couple of mistakes.
Wild
Okay.
card.
They're losing to the Lions this Sunday, too.
No, but that might be an offensive shootout.
Anything you want on that.
I know why you're saying that.
But it could be a shootout.
You think the Lions put everything into week 1,
No.
so they're exhausted.
No,
They're
actually, that's a
done.
great point, and that goes with my theory, but I wasn't thinking that because
I know,
Carson's
'cause I know,
fucking
I know.
coming
He's coming where?
to Detroit, and he's going to bust them open.
We'll see.
That's my pick already.
We'll talk about it
The
tomorrow.
Commanders.
We'll talk about it
That's
tomorrow.
He told us in his
So-
private jet. Time to go ahead and start to take command.
Come on,
Buy or
bro.
sell.
This team has no
Buy or
future,
sell.
bro.
I want to hear it from both of you. I'm buying the Washington passing offense.
Yeah, they look good yesterday.
Well, look,
Paul's is buying. Theories?
I'll buy it with
He's
41
buying.
passes. Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I need to hear.
41 passes. He stinks. Two picks.
How many touchdowns he have?
2 picks.
How many touchdowns he have?
2.
I heard you on the picks. How many touchdowns he had?
He threw it to the fucking defensive lineman, cuz the #1 overall pick.
Derek Carr had 3
Wait a
picks.
a rookie.
All right.
How many picks did the guy that was in the Super Bowl have? Number 9 on the Bengals. I forget his name. He had
4 picks.
Okay.
But he
Derek
made the
Carr
Super
had
Bowl.
3.
He made the Super Bowl. His backup didn't. You want to keep going?
All right. All right.
Gonna keep going.
All right. Next up, and last
You make it
but
real out of that. I
not
don't
definitely
fucking
not least here. Okay. Saquon Barkley, guys. Are you in? Or are you out? Are you buying or selling Saquon Barkley's comeback?
I would lean by. I don't think the Giants are going to be garbage.
But you're leaning. So then, why are you only leaning? I'm all the way in. He looks like he's.
He looked good.
I mean,
bro.
pause, but he looks like he's back. The reports were true.
I don't think the Giants are gonna be garbage, bro. They ain't sniffing the playoffs, cuz
They were well coached.
no, I didn't say that.
Gang.
They were well
That ain't
coached
that.
yesterday, though.
Hey,
They were
remember,
well coached.
7.5 was that line, and I told you something was fishy.
Oh, I would take the Giants at plus.
No,
all
no,
day.
7.5 wins.
Oh, okay.
Fishy,
It is fishy.
fishy.
Under.
They were well coached
Fishy.
yesterday, though.
Under.
But I'm buying. Are you buying Saquon?
I would buy Saquon.
Yeah,
I like
I mean-
him. I like him this year, actually.
Like, he looks-
Last year I didn't like him. This year I did.
He looks like another massive fantasy football value in the draft. He was going, what, 3rd, 4th round? And he looks like he's back. Early returns looking good. Oh, and I forgot one thing, guys.
The G, man.
I got one last thing. The other thing we'll talk about tomorrow when we talk Eagles. The New York Jets running game, Michael Carter led the room. Which running back are you investing in? And I'm only saying this because...
Neither.
Oh, you can say that. That's okay. Michael Carter, Breece Hall, or neither. I mean, or you want to see more? I'll let you.
that's
I'll
what
let you
I need to
pass.
see more, bro. Like I don't know. Because when they drafted Michael Carter, they thought Michael Carter was going to be the shit, and then they turn around and drafted
Overhyped.
Breece Hall a year or two later, and it's like their offense can't move the ball.
This feels like a wait and see.
Oh, and I told you Joe Flacco's old ass wasn't about shit.
Yeah, he played pretty bad.
I'm on the Breece Hall hype train, and I'm not panicking yet.
Oh, you out of gas?
But like,
You're gonna come at me for Joe Flacco take. That's just what we're talking
No, I
about
wasn't
here.
coming at you. I was just saying in general.
game
You
was-
guys were saying that. I was defending myself on the.
I
the
still
tape.
said the Ravens will wax
I
that
don't wanna
ass.
catch
though.
the body.
My bad. I had to be on the defense. I
Yeah.
never
I
know
said
what's
the
coming
Ravens
over
will
here.
wax that ass though, but it was the score was close for a half. It was still close. I mean, come on, he did what he was supposed to do. He kept them close for a half of football. Didn't feel that way. Anyway,
What do you
I'm not
guys,
panicking on
what do you
Breece
guys
Hall.
think about Lamar Jackson's performance here?
I mean,
was
that,
good.
he threw a dime to Rashad Bateman.
I thought it was pretty mid, but go ahead. No, seriously, I'm serious.
I thought he threw a
thought it
dime
was-
to Rashad Bateman.
One pass. That's that's
I
it?
thought it was pretty good considering the conditions.
What conditions?
It was pouring rain. We were there. It was
Pouring rain?
Yeah, absolutely pouring. We were drenched.
Well, look, bro. 17,
We were soggy when we got to the car.
He threw 200.
Like Joe Flacco's
He threw
tears.
213. I get it. He got 3 touchdowns. You're playing against the Jets. Like, you're going to score touchdowns. But you threw 213 yards. And you threw a pick against the Jets. The Jets ain't good, bro.
I don't care either way. I just said he had a really nice throw to Rashad Bateman, and then two to Devin
24
Duvernay.
But to score only 24 points, like, yo, you want
didn't play in the preseason.
you want a $250 million to $300 million dollar guarantee contract, cause you gotta be blowing teams out the fucking water.
That's
cuz.
all it's about.
It is about the W, but when you want to make a statement when you're in a contract and you're negotiating a contract, you got to put the hell on.
We got 16 more games.
No,
Freak.
I get it. I'm just saying. I just thought the performance was mid. That's all I'm saying. I thought it was mid.
I know who you're picking tomorrow. Anyway,
Who's picking?
I know who you're picking in that game tomorrow.
Hmm.
Anyway, we will be back tomorrow. That's right. Our Thursday show got moved to tomorrow at 8 p.m. Our week 2 game picks. Nice and early in the week for you to get all your bets in, okay? So we'll be covering week 2 previews and game picks. We're going to talk more about the Eagles and some of the other big games coming up, including TNF. All right, Chiefs Chargers should be a great one. Eagles Vikings. Anyway, you know what's happening next. We threw you a lot of fantasy advice. We recapped the shit out of week 1. It was crazy. As usual, the NFL delivered. It was a crazy
Facts.
week 1.
That was fun.
All right, buckle up for an awesome season. Anyway, episode 106 of Psychotic and Iconic, powered by Playmaker, was brought to you by Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy. Also, we were live at the Props Network at propshq.com, where you need to go right now, subscribe to our show, and make sure you keep up with all of our football coverage. As you can see, we go through a lot of material here. We're just here to help you, really. So, what are you waiting for? Anyway, that's where you go to find us. Check us out on social too. We're posting all kinds of stuff, betting content, DFS, fantasy, takes. It's all out there for you. All right, last but not least, merchandise courtesy of IPP Pressworks, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. DM us for pricing and details if you want P&I merch. Whew, that was a good one, guys. That was good. Nick Theories, take it away. See you guys tomorrow. Should be fun.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate all the love, support, and the comments. If you guys haven't done so already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube. We are also available on propshq.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Megaphone, Stitcher,
And all that other shit.
Also, follow us on all of our socials, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And we will see you guys tomorrow night at P&I, baby. Baker sucks.
Wow.